It had been over a year since the theme park was open. COVID had shuttered the doors in fall of 2019, and it had remained that way since. There had been reports of strange activity happening at the park, the Ferris wheel making creaking sounds, and lights flashing in the middle of the night, almost as if they were trying to tell the world something. There had been strange, eerie smoke rising up from the haunted graveyard, and a man has been reported to be wandering around, dressed as if he was from the Middle Ages. And some say they've heard him muttering a bunch of random things like math terms and ratios. The word gold and golden has been heard by a few teenagers that had snuck into the park a while back, trying to escape the COVID lockdowns. The group had fled the park after an apparent sighting of what they described as an intelligent ghost who was muttering about gold, nature, and ratios. All three boys disappeared after reporting their apparent story to the local authorities. Their disappearance remains unsolved. The owner of the theme park had asked that I go check to see if things were okay. I was uneasy about this task, but thought to myself, what the heck, it'll be fine. Sitting in the parking lot, I had an uneasy feeling in my stomach. I took a deep breath and opened the car door. I approached the gate, my stomach now in my throat. My knees were weak, my hands shivered, and slowly, goosebumps rose up my back. The cold wind heightened these sensations, and the wind blowing made it feel as if I was not alone. Maybe I wasn't. My hands shook as I fumbled with the keys as I took them out of my jacket pocket to unlock the tall, black, wrought iron fence that secured the premise of the park. I reached for the padlock, and all I could feel was cold slime. I pulled my hand away from the lock as quickly as possible. I took about 10 steps backward, tripped over my own feet, falling on my butt. Ouch! I chuckled to myself. You're being ridiculous. There's no such thing as ghosts. These are simple coincidences, right? I gave myself a little pep talk. After all, it was just a few snails on the back of a lock. I stood up and marched right back to that lock. I was going to own that lock. This time, I grabbed the lock by the sides. There was no risking touching those slimy critters again. I unlocked the gate. Phew! After a few good pulls, the lock finally opened. The rust that had been accumulated made it a bit tricky, but I was in. I lifted the security bar and opened the gate. I hesitantly took a few steps inside. All of a sudden, the gate blew closed and the security lever on the outside came slamming down and locked in place. Of course, my cell phone's in my bag on the other side of the gate. It's not my day. Crap, 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 crap. It was already dark outside, and the park lights flickered and turned off. I'm standing in complete darkness. All I can see is the lights from the nearby town in the distance. Right, of course the lights turn off. If the park had been open, it would be closing time, 11 o'clock in the fall. My heart starts to race, and I start to feel sick to my stomach. Now I really wish I'd put my cell phone in my pocket and not my bag. This place has been deserted for years. Well, except for the apparent old ghost man. Who the heck is even going to come by to find me now? I bury my head in my hands out of frustration. My eyes are wet, but I can't decide if it's from crying or the howling in the wind around me. Maybe it's a combination. At this point, things are unclear and confusing. I just know that I need to think fast and get out of this haunted theme park before the clock strikes 12. Think! You've worked at this park for years. Then it comes to me. The secret emergency exit, of course! Suddenly, I remember the darkness. But wait, there was a flashlight hidden in the ticket booth. I walked to that ticket booth so many times, I could do it with my eyes closed. Well, given the lack of lighting in the park right now, that was pretty much the only next move I had. Here we go. 25 steps straight? Wait, make that 15. I'm about 10 steps in already. I feel the first booth. Now, I just need to make my way to the far end, since the last stall is where the key is. Slowly, I creep my way down to the last ticket stall, praying that I don't encounter any more slime or creepy things in the dark. I try the door handle. Of course it's locked, which means I've got to smash the window. I take the scarf off my neck and wrap it around my hand. I can't risk bleeding right now. Lord only knows when I'm going to get out of this park tonight. Blood, blood, blood. Who am I kidding? A few scrapes and cuts might be the least of my worries, with what else might be lurking amongst the rides and slides in this park. Hopefully, the scarf will dampen the sound, too. I lose myself in my thoughts. If I smash the window quickly, grab the flashlight, then I can continue running to the left until I get to the bottom of the main mountain. Once I get there, there's a small hidden structure that I can hide in to catch my breath. I'm so thankful that I know about this right now, and that most people think that it's just a fake tree. Truth is, it's a great prop that actors hide in during our Halloween Fright Nights. Tonight, it's going to be my hiding spot until I know I'm safe. Okay, you've got this. I take 3 deep breaths, close my eyes, and smash! That was a little louder than I'd hoped for. I grab the flashlight and run. I noticed that the sound of the glass has triggered the lights on a few rides. I'd totally forgotten that our theme park was part of this new avant-garde coding project where certain sounds can trigger lights. This Ferris wheel starts to light up. I see the mist rising from the haunted graveyard funhouse, and the creaky old wooden roller coaster, the up and down and all around, starts. I ran as fast as I could and made it to that fake tree. Safe. I have to stop to catch my breath. Note to self, if you make it out alive tonight, get your home gym set up. Minutes pass. I test my flashlight to make sure it works. We're good. I tell myself it's all in my head. The wind howls and the gates around the park creak, and it sounds like chains are banging around. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. I've decided that maybe turning my flashlight on while making my way to the emergency exit might have me noticed, so I decide to use the moonlight. It's a full moon tonight, but there's some clouds in the sky, so I have a little light. Plus, my eyes have adjusted to the darkness now. Slowly, I open the fake tree door. This time, I'm going to move slowly, just in case. I mean, I wouldn't want to trigger any more of the attractions. The emergency exit wasn't too far away, maybe a 2-minute walk. I wait for the moon to hide behind the clouds, and I head off in the direction of the exit. There's just enough light to pave the way for me. Every gust of wind freaks me out. I feel like I'm being followed, but every time I look, it's just me, the rides, and the fun houses. As I approach the gate, I see an envelope tucked down beside the lock. The envelope says, "Open in a case of emergency." Well, this, my friends, is an emergency if I've ever seen one. Of course I open the envelope, wouldn't you? My hands are shaking, just like there's a fault line during an earthquake. I manage to open the envelope and pull out a neatly folded paper inside. For a second, I think that everything's going to be all right. Boy, was I wrong. Scrawled in what looks like blood is this message. Tick-tock goes the clock. The real fun begins at midnight. Want to stay around to see what happens? No? Then follow the light and solve the clues. But you better finish before the stroke of midnight. Otherwise, you'll have to join in our fun. Look to the sky to start. Deep breaths, you've got this. I read through the note again in hopes of finding a clue. Then it jumps out at me. Follow the light! That must mean the attractions that have lit up are my clues. I think the Ferris wheel is my first stop. I can see it in the sky. I run as fast as I can to the Ferris wheel. It looks just like I remembered it, except for those random numbers on it. I freeze. I'm not alone. I see a figure in the distance, the man from the Middle Ages. It's definitely not Einstein, Euclid, Gauss, or Descartes. Who could it be? I don't know if he's alive or a ghost, but he for sure looks like he's from that era. I jump a mile. The Ferris wheel starts up with a new song. All as I can hear is, "It's the golden ratio. What's the sequence? Go!" Why didn't I pay more attention in middle school math? I got it. Now I just have to punch my answer into the Google form left open on the Ferris wheel operating computer station. Okay, I solved the first one step closer to avoiding this so-called fun time after midnight. When I entered my answer, it told me to head over to the stones. This has to be a reference to the graveyard. Headstones? Gravestones? I'm on fire tonight. I pick up the pace a bit and head over to the fun graveyard. I notice a strange van parked beside the graveyard. Was that always there? I really should have explored this park more when I had the chance. It would have made tonight's challenges so much easier. As I approach the back of the van and walk up to the side, I grab a note taped to the side of the van. As I start to unfold the note, the headlights suddenly turn on, and I can see two bodies in the shadows. I quickly drop to the ground and roll under the van. I need a minute to think. I breathe ever so slowly, making sure I'm not too loud. I take a closer look at the two figures in the distance. Then it hits me. These were the zombie figures that were brought in for Halloween Fright Night. Well, at least I think they are. The note. I open it, and I take a read. It says, "This year was cursed." Well, duh, of course it was. Coronavirus took over the world. That clue seems too easy. Now to look for something to do with the year. Then I spot it. I slide out from under the van and notice another laptop open on the hood of the van. Again, there's a Google form prompting me to enter my answers. It tells me it's a 4-digit number. I enter in what I think it is. Bingo! I was right. I do my little happy dance. I may just make it out alive tonight. Crap. There's another challenge. This one says, up, down, and all around. What's the second next direction you're bound? In fine print underneath, it says, head to the roller coaster start booth and look ahead. All right, off I go. The pressure is on as time ticks away. I see an arrow on the wall that was definitely not on the wall before. I used to work this ride years ago. I face in the direction of the arrow. Now, what's the second direction I'm bound? Got it. computer and enter my answer. Sweet, I was right. Of course, there's still one last puzzle to solve. I hope it's not too late. The clue tells me to grab a snack. I notice in the distance the concession stands are lit up. How did I not notice this at first? I guess it was hidden amongst the other lights. I run towards the concession stands, if only it were one of those days where I was with my friends after work grabbing a bite to eat. Nope, not this time. Taped to the concession stand's wall is a note that says, "It all adds up, but don't include the sign." Huh? Then it hits me. The cash register screen has a Google Doc opened as well. I enter my answer and wait for the next screen to load. Sweet! The message says, "Well, aren't you a smart one? You outsmarted me this time. Congrats. Time is still a-ticking. Will you make it out in time?" The key's behind the menu. Grab what I hope is the key to let me out of this nightmare, and I run as fast as I can back to the emergency gate. I was going so fast, I swear it felt like I was flying. Time seemed to stop, but fly at the same time. My anxiety was running high. The clock tower started to chime, indicating it was almost the stroke of midnight. 3 more steps and I'm at the fence. The key! Right, my jacket pocket. I take a deep breath. And I take it out. If I dropped this right now, I'd be doomed. I grab the lock, and I push in the key, and I try to turn it. Nothing. I realize that I hadn't pushed the key in all the way. I try again. I can hear the 10th ding of the clock. It's getting close. The key turns and the lock pops open. I'm free!